The investigation of the former Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Mallami, over alleged corruption is now getting more intense. In the latest developments, the former minister has been detained for the second night by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, after honoring his invitation for interrogation. Mallami is being questioned over transactions connected with the recovery of parts of the Abacha loot, over 46 bank accounts allegedly linked to him and his multi-billionaire investment in Kebbi State. Ahmed Majid, the former AGF, he has denied any wrongdoing. He has called it baseless, he's called it all sort of names. But he's still in the EFCC detention, since Monday. What's really going on?
Well,
Unpack this.
He has been granted bail, but as at 11 p.m. last night, he's not been able to meet the conditions for the bail.
Okay.
Because, they can't actually hold him more than. But then, that's one of the allegations against him, which involves terrorism financing. That one is huge. So it's been investigated at the counter-terrorism wing of the Office of the National Security Advisor, which also works in conjunction with the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. So, but when the EFCC invites you, if it has to do with terrorism financing, then they will move you to the counter-terrorism unit of the Office of the NSA. There are two wings. So I think that is where he is. But now to unpack this, really. You see, Mallami's travels is a lesson to everybody who holds power today and who believes is very strong. Mallami will tell you when he was AGF that Bawa is his boy and he put him there as EFCC chairman. Mohammed Bawa, yes. He says it all the time that Bawa is his boy. God used him to put it there. Things that he's not supposed to say that, which means he's telling you that with power, he can do and undo. And he has used Mohammed Bawa to do a lot of stuff to the extent that they are tracing some assets now that were seized by the EFCC to him during Bawa's tenure. And some of the things he did, recall there was a time the Nigerian Governors Forum had a running battle with Mallami over $419 million.
Abacha loot.
No. Paris Club.
Okay.
That the state governments were supposed to share, and Mallami now claimed that they hired a consultant who was supposed to collect a certain amount. It was able to collect a certain percentage of this amount, and the Governors Forum kicked that no, they had their own consultant, but Mallami insisted. And also some of the allegations against him are, double payments of settlement fees for counsel who helped in bringing Abacha money to Nigeria. And these Abacha monies, I think we need to let Nigerians know that it is those, especially the one from Switzerland and the island of Jersey. It is the government of those two countries that invited Nigeria. Say, this money is here, come and take.
So there was no middleman.
No middleman, no consultant.
And he was getting money for the middleman.
They even paid twice. And that's not all. There was this deal on Ajaokuta that the company involved, I think Global Securities Holdings Limited, an Indian company, told Nigeria that over 9 years ago that they are not interested in any compensation, that they are interested in getting Ajaokuta to work. But if they won't be involved, they are not collecting any money. Mallami paid them.
Oh dear. Lots of things. How do you weigh in here?
It's quite interesting, and I like the angle that people should forget that power is transient. People should not forget that the power is transient, and these allegations are, in my view, they're very, very germane. There are things that every public officer should consider. One of them is he should explain how he got sudden 10 billion naira. We should also explain $322 million Abacha loot. Come and tell us how this money were distributed and were used. These are jamming questions. I remember on different platforms where, especially on Journalist Hangout, where you will remind the public officers that Abacha loot should not be relooted.
Yeah.
You know, it's very, very important.
But he's denying all of these things.
Of course.
He
What we are
says,
saying is we are not passing judgment on him. But what we are saying is these are critical questions. These are issues that we are monitoring closely. This is not a media trial, but I just want to say that this should not be looked with any other eye, because some might say this is a political persecution, this is this, this is that. Excuse me. Just remember, for whatever things he must have tried, he has tried to be a governor. Like I said, it's about taking a lesson from his story. Many of them want to remain in power forever. After being a minister, let me go and become a senator, let me go and become a governor. But even as a senator, you don't have that humility. But they usually like to be governors. So I'm not just talking about Mallami now, but I'm saying that we will follow these cases.
To the very end.
Exactly, absolutely. And see what comes out of it.
BK, lots of things said at this table. But looking at what Majid said, does Mallami's arrest represent a genuine shift, you know, towards accountability for powerful former officials? BK, are you still with us?
Of course.
Okay.
It's not the first to be arrested. The EFCC is doing its job by arresting public officers and asking them questions. The fact that he's been arrested, detained overnight, does not mean that he's guilty. Fayose slept in the EFCC cell. What happened? Nothing came out of it. His no case submission succeeded because they didn't have cast iron evidence. And people are not convicted on the basis of allegations made against them or what journalists say on TV. It is what prosecutors are able to do with the facts that they have. They must convince judges that, yes, this person deserves to be put in the slammer. So I found the allegation of multiple accounts. I found this really interesting because I know that many Nigerians, many big Nigerians, billionaires, this is what they do. When they steal money, they get people to open multiple accounts where they put all of the monies. So Mallami has to prove that all of those accounts linked to him are not his. In any case, once the EFCC is able to sustain that suspicion, once it is convinced that those accounts are linked to him, they will, and he say, no, they are not linked to me, they will approach the court for forfeiture of the assets or forfeiture of the monies in those accounts. So it's a win-win situation for Nigeria. That is the aspect that really entices me, because at the end of the day, we'll be able to find money to run the consumer credit scheme, to run the NEL fund. Poor students will be able to go to school. They will even get allowances, feeding allowances and all that. They will have their tuition fees paid from monies that Nigerian public officers, Nigerian contractors have stolen. So it's a good thing for us. So if the EFCC has concrete evidence that some accounts are linked to him, they should approach the court for forfeiture to happen in respect of the money that they found in those accounts. And we must get to that point. There's another point that I want to raise. When people are in government and they come out of government and people can see giant universities, big projects in their name, they should be able to ask them questions. Where did you get the money to build this university? Where did you get the money to build this giant company? How much did you earn as salary and as allowances during that period? This has been done in Malaysia. And they were very successful at it. So we should be asking people, if we don't begin to go after investments of people who have been in government, people will not stop looting us in a crazy manner, looting our patrimony in a crazy manner, and building giant universities and building big projects, building hotels. In fact, hotels is what our politicians like most now.
Yes.
You see big hotels. It's all money laundering that we are talking about here. If we are serious about winning the war against corruption, we should begin to go for the assets of these people. Yes. Because monies that are meant for big-time road projects, monies that are meant to fund education, to fund the health sector, we see them being diverted. And people are building hotels with them. Politicians who could barely change their addresses before they got into office, we will now see them acquiring properties here and there. Some have bought nearly all the houses in our urban centers, and we are looking at them. We saw them when they were going into office. Some of them could barely feed. In fact, somebody told me about a man whom, when he was traveling, after his mother died, you know, he was the one who gave him 100,000 to go for his mom's funeral. That person that we are talking about today is a multi-billionaire. He was in government.
How? I mean, how?
When are we going to? When will this stop?
Exactly. All right, but BK.
When will this stop?
BK.
So let them go. Let the EFCC do a thorough job about him. Yes. No one is convicting him. As far as I'm concerned, at this stage, he's not guilty. He has not been found guilty, and I will not believe any story until they have thoroughly done their job about him, and they have a vice-like grip on him, and he cannot escape. Because we've seen many of them. As far as we are concerned, at this stage, these are just allegations.
Yes.
We have seen big people. EFCC will make a lot of noise. At the end of the day, those people will escape.
All right, BK.
You will see that the courts will free them. So let the EFCC do its thorough job. If Mallami is guilty, he's guilty.
Yes.
And if he's guilty, all of the big things that they told us are linked to him, hotels, universities, and other things, they should then approach the courts for the court to give them the power.
Okay.
To take those things, if we need to auction them the way they did to former IGP, what's his name again? Tafa Balogun. Other people are using the houses that he bought. Other people have taken them over.
Okay.
That's the way it should be, so that in their lifetime they will see that the assets that they use stolen money to gather, Nigerians, other people have taken them over because they sold them. You know. That's the thing that I want to see.
All right.
As simple as that.
All right, beautiful one, BK, beautiful one.
Will tell you, I quote Sheikh Mahmoud Gumi. He said that everywhere he went to meet with the bandits, the DSS is with him, police is with him, NDI is with him, every security apparatus they are with him. So if you are with him, then you know the destination or the location of the bandit. This thing started in a little form. It started with Mohammed, with bows and arrow. Then you want to ask yourself, how did they get guns and machineries? And so even when I was speaking in Europe and when I was asked this same question, I said, look, Nigerians don't produce guns. We don't even have the capacity. With all due respect, we don't even produce bullets. But here we are, we have some of the most sophisticated weapons. Somebody is bringing them in. Somebody is financing them in. Even when Donald Trump said he was going to march into the country and all of that, the question I always ask is that, find out who are supplying this bandit with these guns. Cut off the supplies. If you are, because everything that's happening in Nigeria is known by British, is known by France, is known by America. They have the intelligence report. They even have intelligence report more than you. Because they know how those things are flowing in and taken out. They have all the radars they can read and know. So who is supplying the weapons? Who is financing? Who is bringing the machinery men to come and cause destruction in the country? Those people know it. So cut the supply. Trump does not even need to come into Nigeria. He doesn't even need to send any troop. The moment he cut the supply, they know the supplier, that will stop and reduce the killing. Killings is done on every aspect of Nigeria, every area, Muslim, Christian, those who even worship juju and all of them, they are all being affected. So therefore, if we are sincere, and the international community is sincere, cut the supply, empower our own army and all with the right weapons so that they can deal with the remaining insurgency. And that's all, it's finished. But those who are benefiting from it, they are benefiting from it, seriously benefiting from it, and that's why they are using Nigerians as pawns. That must be stopped.
President Obasanjo described insecurity in Nigeria as an industry, and that we don't have the capacity to deal with this issue. If you now marry it to the fact that Benin Republic, they had a coup. They ran to us, according to government sources. They ran to us, said, come and help us, we can't deal with this. Why has Nigeria not been able to call for support to deal with insecurity, almost getting to 20?
Conspiracy within the system. There's a conspiracy within the system. There are those who are benefiting from it internally and externally. In fact, I have a cousin who happened to be a police commissioner in Zamfara. He came out and probably said it clearly that the people in government are involved in this enterprise. They sponsor them, they put them online, and they give them weapons to do exactly what they are doing. So there's a conspiracy against the state by the people within the state, and at the same time externally. I believe strongly that Nigerians have the capable soldiers. Equipment, yes, it can be improved. Yes, the right sense of mind is a little bit jettisoned, because those who want to fight for the country, imagine a soldier who was at the battlefield. He was just trained. He was just trained. This was something that a soldier said. I am not the one said it. He was just trained. And then when he went to the field, he saw his trainer on the other side. He said it. He said he saw his own trainer on the other side. It's then because of the covenant that is already signed that even if it's your parent or mother that is on the other side, you battled with him. That's how he was able to continue with that strength of mind to continue the battle. Because ordinarily he was shocked. How could that have been? You have a general in Nigeria army going alone to a field. How? You want to ask those particular questions. Where is his battalion or where is his team? Those are things that are very serious questions that you need to ask. So those who are interested in enjoying and kind of busting their own pockets should know that they have things to answer. They have people to answer to, the Nigerian people, and God Almighty is also watching. Don't ever think that you are going to escape it. It can't not be possible. It's either you suffer it here or you suffer it in heaven, or in hell, as the case may be. So there's a conspiracy against the state on a continuous basis. Those who found themselves in power use it to empower themselves and then to make sure that they gain power against the people. The people are the ones that are being used as a playing ground. And that is the reason why the people need to understand now, and they have to wake up. The youth, the aged, the persons with the intelligent capacity, please, we need to fight for the survival of this country, and we have the necessary tools to do so.
Do you fear that President Bola Tinubu could win again in 2027? And if you do or you don't, what do you think can be done to forestall the possibility of his re-election in 2020?
There is nobody that cannot be defeated. Nobody. Yes, today you may be in a right frame of mind thinking that you have money, you have the people, or some of the people that you've been able to buy, the institutions that you've been able to buy. I am a kind of a person who believes strongly in a collective responsibility and continue to soldier on. Check my history. Even if I'm the only one, I'll be on the street fighting for the soul of Nigeria because I believe in it. There is nobody that cannot be defeated. Yes, the pathway may be different, which is, of course, what you're asking, how do we do it? And I cannot say it openly on the public, but definitely it's doable. Anybody that tells you that somebody cannot be defeated, where are those who have hold them? There are quite a number of them who believe that they are infallible and they are not be defeated. I believe he is defeatable. There's nothing that tells you that he cannot be defeated. I believe in it strongly, but the pathway, that has to be thought about very well.
For the sake of clarity, Nigerians will want to know your principal, His Excellency P2B, under which platform is he likely to run for 2020?
Well, like I said, it's somebody who believes in this country and is working with a lot of people. Within the short period of time, he will make his announcement for the interest of the Nigerian people to know. That I can assure you. Because at the moment now, it's not Yunus Atanko that is running. It's Mr. Peter Obi that is running for election.
You can read his mind.
Of course. That is the reason why I've been able to give you this answer. And I've always said, anywhere Mr. Peter Obi is going, me, Yunus Atanko, will be with him. And I know also the obedient movement will be with him. And so, by the time it's ready, I just wanted to employ on everybody a little patience, and then we will get there, and then we will make this announcement for every Nigerian to see and to hear.
What is the present relationship between your principal and the national chairman of the Labour Party, Julius Abure?
Let me give you an explanation. Peter Obi does not do politics of calumny or anger or fighting with anybody. If there's anybody that you've ever had that Peter Obi call he or her name or insult anybody, you can mention it. None. So he has a very cordial relationship with everybody. But what he will not do is that if your path and principle does not go with him, he go on his own, you go on your own. Sell your market, I sell my own. In fact, what he said was that if today anything happened to Abure's family or something like that, he will go and do his own support and consolidation as somebody, as a Nigerian, which is entitled to do for everybody. But hear him fighting with anybody, Peter Obi will not do that. And I think it's a nice principle that everybody should imbibe. In that case, you will have a very egalitarian society and a peaceful one. Peter Obi said, sell your market, I will sell my own. We are going into the public.
But why has we not seen him in most fora that the Labour Party has gotten involved? But we've seen his running mate at the 2023 elections, Dati.
Remember, there is the Alex Otti-led Labour Party. You will always see him with the Alex Otti, Senator Nanadi, and all of that. And even as the last election in Anambra, the election nominee was done by Abure and the rest of them. We went in and campaigned, even though the election was one of an election that was almost sold to the highest bidder, as the case may be. But we still participated, as the case may be. But it doesn't show that Peter Obi did not stay with the Labour Party. He was there. He was almost everywhere. He campaigned and then did what he has to do.
Is he planning to run again?